This is Muyeed Hasan. I am currently representing AWARE as the country manager of Bangladesh. AWARE as an organization has been initiated in Netherlands. Our founder, Mr. Feiko van der Wijn, he is a Dutch nationalist. He has been doing retail business for I think more than 20 years. He has been coming to China, he has been coming to Bangladesh, and I think in some cases maybe he knows Gulshan area even better than me because he has been traveling a lot. So what he saw from the very beginning in the supply chain is that the physical product is there, but the authenticity of the declaration of those products are always questioned. Like when he is buying it from China or when he is buying it from Bangladesh or wherever he is buying from, if he asked any of the supplier for their information, it always happened is that the supplier is working for more than a month to get the information, and then when the information comes in, it is not correct or it is misrepresented. So from that point of view, he understood that the data authenticity and the data integrity of the full physical product is much more important, because the data is actually what translates the physical product into the trust of the consumers. So from that point of view, he founded the company of AWARE in 2020, and after that he started the operation, he started developing the platform, and right now AWARE is the only platform in the world which provides public blockchain access to the manufacturers, through which they can provide their data and ensure that they are compliance ready for all of the export regulation, like export regulations such as the European Union Digital Product Passport, the USA's UFLPA or the Uruguay Forced Labor Prevention Act, then also the French regulation that has been rolled out very recently, and of course with the EPR, with the ESPR. So our platform ensures whatever data the manufacturers are providing that correlates with the export regulations of the world. And also we promote fiber forward approach. Fiber forward meaning is that our manufacturers captured the data with our collaboration, of course, with our platform collaboration. They captured the data in the time of the production. That means let's say in a life cycle of a supply chain, if whenever a yarn is produced, the manufacturer provides their data at the same time. Then when that yarn goes to the fabric mill, then the fabric mill also provides their data at that real time. So this is how we promote the supply chain as a responsible one, because everybody is providing their data according to the exact timeline, and that ensures that the integrity and the intention behind the data is totally correct. So that is how we are ensuring the transparency and all of the services for the consumers, and also for the, let's say, the customs body or the regulatory body of the world. So overall, what we want to do as AWARE in Bangladesh is to promote this industry more. We want to promote to the world that Bangladesh as a country does not only provide physical product, but also with the physical product we can provide verifiable data, which ensures that the supply chain in Bangladesh is totally responsible. So that is our end goal, and we want to support, we want to help and assist the manufacturers in a way so that they can stand out themselves in this cluster of the whole world, where they can provide a service to the brands, to the consumer, where we ourselves declare that we are ready to comply with everything that is coming in the future.
Okay. Why manufacturers need to be traceable? I mean, who made these rules, and why did they make it? What do you think?
Yeah, of course. This rule is not a brand rule. It's not a rule from a consumer, but it's a rule from the government of the world, like the European Union. That is the rule, the Digital Product Passport, the EPR, ESPR, everything is coming from those unions. And why it is coming is that, again, what I mentioned is that there is no question about the physical product. Whatever physical product is coming to, let's say, European Union or some of the countries, there is no question that they are getting the physical product. But what happens is that when they ask the question is that, let's say what is the composition of that product, that is written in the care label. We can see it from there. Also in the care label we can see what is the wash instructions and everything. But it's not enough, because everything, a garment is always treated either mechanically or chemically or through a thermal process. Something happens there. So when that process happens, there is automatic requirement of data or information. That is where the traceability comes in. Why traceability comes in is that even in some region, as we know, that some regions cotton is prohibited to be used, like Uguer is currently banned. Previously also 3 or 4 months ago, the cotton in Uzbekistan was also banned, but now it has been lifted. So how they got themselves into this position? At first people found out that there is child labor being used, but now they have proved to the world that no, they are not using it. They are producing the cotton through responsible channels. So this is the thing, this is the demand of the consumers and the demand of the governments of the world, is to ensure that whatever thing is being exported to their country, it is responsible not just for production but also in a social sense, also in climate sense. That is why everybody is also promoting right now BCI, organic, recycle. Why? Because yes, the product will be there, but alongside the product, if we can help the whole world by cutting out some of the emissions, then everybody will be happy. So this actually comes from, these regulations comes from two sense. One sense is from the government, where the regulatory people are there making the regulations, and also from the consumer awareness, because as you know, this generation of the consumers, they're super conscious. They're super conscious about what they're buying, and they want to have an impact in whatever they are purchasing. So that is why the regulations are coming in. That is why traceability is becoming more and more important, and that will be the kind of like differentiation between a global player and a local player. Like if somebody, or if some country, or if some organization proves to the world that they are digitally traceable and that their data is totally authentic, then they gain the trust of not just the brands, but they gain the trust of the consumers, they gain the trust of the government bodies. So this is kind of like let's say the catalyst which can bring that organization to the next level.
Right. As you said, what I understood is the first thing is to comply the government's rules. That's the first issue of traceability. If I take a look on this issue on commercial way, it has a cost, right? And I think it's quite expensive.
Yes.
Now, who's going to pay this? Is it the brands? Is it the manufacturers? And if manufacturers does that, what good does it bring for them?
Of course, this is the most important question, because if a business is not profitable, then it's not sustainable. Sustainability must bring profitability to the organization, to the manufacturer, to the brands, to the consumers, to everybody. So now the question is that any process, either that is mechanical, that is chemical, or any digital process, even in platform, it has an associated cost, because nothing in this world is free. That's for sure. So I mean, this cost that you are talking about, this cost, the plan is to ensure that everybody gets benefited and everybody shares in the cost. So how does that happen? Like through the EPR and the ESPR scheme of European Union, they will ensure that whoever is complying with those rules, they get some tax benefit from it. And if somebody is not complying with those rules, then there will be penalty imposed on them. So let's say, for some example, if somebody is using 20% recycled cotton in their product, so then let's say, for example, through the EPR scheme, they will get a 10% tax benefit. So that already has a huge implication for the brands. So now this thing needs to trickle down to the manufacturers, because yes, the brands will get benefited from it, because that is the rule that has been put in place to ensure that the brands are also incentivized to become more circular. And also make sure that their product is traceable. So now the thing that the most important thing is that to ensure that the manufacturers are benefited from these services. So how that can happen, like in terms of, let's say, the recycling process or other processes, it is always that there is going to be some process losses because of the fiber length and everything. The cost of the material will always be a little bit higher, because any process that adds into an existing process, it will increase the cost, that's for sure. So this is now what happens is in this world is that, like, if somebody is producing organic cotton product, or if somebody is producing recycled product, they are of course charging some premium to the brands. Yes, of course, there is a lot of let's say negotiation between the brands and the manufacturers, because everybody wants to benefit from it. But my personal feeling is that everybody will get benefit from it if everybody understands that collaboration is more required. Like, for example, if all of the manufacturers in the world use 5% recycled material, then the post-industrial waste and post-consumer waste will not be there. It will not be enough, because if everybody uses 5%, then everything will be used up. So rather than the competition of doing it like he is doing 20%, okay, then I need to do 30%. If he is doing 40%, okay, then I need to do 50%. This competition, what actually it encourages is greenwashing. Because yes, suppose a manufacturer is trying to produce 50% recycled product, but the problem is, what we have to also understand is the expectation and the reality. The expectation is to get the 50% recycled product, but you also have to accept the quality and the appearance of that 50% recycled product, because intentionally, if you are putting 50% waste into a product, it will not be the same as the virgin cotton. So this is the thing, is that the expectation, as long as the expectation and the reality is aligned, everybody will be profitable in the industry. So I think that everybody needs to share in the cost, because for sure, if something is not profitable, it's not going to.
What challenges you see through your experience for last couple of months? How do you see the implementation or taking a clients on your side in Bangladesh? Please tell us about it.
Yes, of course. I mean, anything new is challenging, because anything new, any change is something that is scary to everybody. It is also scary to me. So, of course, there is a challenge of, let's say, fast adoption. And also, I do not blame the manufacturers for it, because, you know, a manufacturer has more than, let's say, 200 to 300 audits even in a year. They have to do a lot of things to please the brands. So I mean, anything that is additional for them is going to be a pain, that's for sure. And we totally understand that. But what we are also now seeing, that was the main challenge, that kind of like establishing something new in the industry. But what we are also seeing is that people are now getting understanding the importance of that. Like organizations like Turak Garment, Cyclo, Simco, Musharraf, Osbangla Jutex, Eurotex, Tex Europe. So these guys are now understanding that you know, if something is nominated from the brands, then they are not financially benefiting from it. But if they are providing a service to the customers, to the brands, then they can dictate the price and they can set the benchmark. So along with the challenge, now we are also seeing a very positive side, where people are starting to understand that this is something that can help them financially, and also kind of like differentiate themselves from the other competitors.
What do you think? How many percentage of our manufacturers they onboard in traceability, either with Aware or with some other companies? Do you have any idea?
I think more than 60 to 70%, because why I am saying that is because everybody uses either BCI, organic, fair trade cotton, CMIA, cotton made in Africa, Supima, Pima cottons. So and also recycled cotton. People are using a lot of recycled cotton. So for these things, they have to be in a traceable platform. Like, for organic, you have to be in their organic. You have to get the TC of the GRS. For BCI, you have to transfer the BCCU unit. So people are, most of the factories are onboarded in the traceability platform. But the main challenge is that how do you translate that traceability data into export regulation? That is going to be the main challenge.
Right. Would you tell us about the cost involved, traceability, and the benefits against it the manufacturers will get?
Yeah, of course. So the cost of being traceability in Aware, like in our case, we have a monthly subscription model where our partners we invoice them monthly based on the number of traceability or tokenization that they are going to do. So for example, like we have a package of 500 euro and also a package of 1650 euro based on the number of token that they can create. So like for 500 euros, they can create 300,000 token in a year. For 1600 euros, they can create a token of more than 1 million pieces. So what you can see is that the amount of invoicing is very minimal. It's only 500 to 1000 or 2000 euros per month, but the benefits actually far outweigh the cost. Like as I have mentioned to you, if somebody can provide a service to a brand, like let's say if somebody goes to the brand and says that I am providing this DPP by myself and this is the cost for it, then the manufacturer can dictate the price based on his requirement. So this is kind of like the thing. What we are trying to say is that we empower the manufacturers, because it has been always the case is that the negotiation power and everything is in the hands of the brands. But why is that? Because everything is being nominated by them. But if the manufacturers, they themselves provide a service, then they can get the financial benefit from it based on their own term. So the benefit of using this platform far outweighs the cost of it.
Right. Okay. It's this question is out of the topic. If you had a chance to change the policy of what I want to say is, what would you do? What would you change in our government policy on RMG if you have a chance to do that?
Yes, of course. RMG is kind of like the bread and butter of the Bangladesh economy. So for sure, it's a very important part. What I would change in the RMG industry is kind of like giving more breathing room and incentive to the manufacturers, because or the exporters. Because if the exporters are not getting financial benefit from it, or at least some form of subsidy or something from it, then the problem is that they go to the banks more for the loans, and then they cannot return it, and then there is a lot of problem there. So previously, as you have seen, that there was a subsidy of 5%, but it has been reduced to 1.5%. But this actually does not help. Why? Because the local manufacturers are getting squeezed for the price, and also other countries like India, like Vietnam and other countries, they are actually increasing the subsidy. They are actually kind of like promoting to their exporters to export more. So we need to also adopt that. If we want to increase our export and we want to sustain our export, then we need to reward the exporters. Without rewarding the exporters, because this industry has been surviving through the private sector initiative. That has been from the very beginning. Everything has been done by the private sector. So now the government must come forward and give incentive and give benefit to the exporters so they can export more. And if the exporters export more, then government will also get more taxes. So it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Right. What will be your advice or suggestion to the manufacturers, those who are not yet on board with any kind of traceability company?
It's a very simple thing, is that everybody knows, but because this is not a brand regulation, this is a regulation from the consumer and from the governments of European Union. So this is something that everybody needs to do, everybody will have to do. So now the question is, when you want to do you want to do it when everybody is already 100 kilometers ahead, or do you want to do it when everybody is 100 kilometers behind? So now the choice is actually on the manufacturers. Why I will always say that use my platform more, that's for sure. For my business perspective, I will always say that. But it's not that. It's the factor is that how do you understand that benefit of it? From my speech, I think you have already understood that the benefit is, that's not the benefit, that is the mandatory requirement. But this is the time where you can transform that mandatory requirement into your own profit, into your own brand image. Like, let's say if any manufacturer can promote now themselves that they are totally digitally traceable and that they are providing fully traceable supply chain alongside the physical product, then that company's brand image and business goes to the next level. And we have many examples in the industry to show for it. Like, we see that industry pioneers like NZ, who is doing a lot of experimentation in denim. Then we see pioneers like Zaber Zubair Fabrics, who are doing so many R&D and they are trying to stay ahead of the curve. So always it's the thing is that once you stay ahead of the curve, then you get the business benefit. So I will say to the manufacturers that it is not too late. You still have time. So please ensure that your supply chain is traceable, because that is required for you and also required for Bangladesh as a whole.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muyeed, for being with Bangladesh Textile Journal.
It is my pleasure, and I look forward to contributing more. Thank you.